Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. I'm posting this to the Facebook group because I want people to know. I think I should set this up as a live event. That's what I should probably do. I should probably make like a calendar event. But anyway, pardon me while I add water to my Becoming Thin mug. My Becoming Thin mug. Very, very excited about this. I need to get a Guild one. I mean, I have a Guild one, but I need to get a different one. Oh, you know what? There looks like there's dust in there. Whatever. Oh, wow. That almost takes an entire bottle of water. There is a lot of dust on the top of that. That's awesome. Good thing my system can handle it. Actually, I'm kidding. It's fine. Anyway, welcome to this week's live stream. We're just getting kicked off, so there's not a ton of people here yet, as per usual. I'll let everybody else trickle in as we come along. If you've got any wins or victories, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. Do a hashtag victory. Humble brag. Ooh. Yeah, I like humble brag. I don't know. I should probably come up with something. And then I've got us 3 books I will ask you, like, we'll do the same thing we did last week. Like, hey, what do y'all want to do? And then we'll let you all pick. I brought 3 of 3 different ways. It's all going to be around emotional eating, though. So we just got 3 different directions we can come at it with. Actually, why not? I'll tell you about it now. So the first book that we'll have for choice is Psycho-Cybernetics, which is one of my favorites. The second will be The 8 Keys. Is this going to work? Yeah, to end emotional eating. And the third will be Intuitive Eating. These will be the 3 books that we will pick from. We'll just see which one we want to dig into today. They're all 3 great. I like them all. Let's see. Good morning. Yes, Joseph. Dusty water. So, good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Sandy, Lori, Joseph. Good to see you here. Welcome. Oh, there we go. We got a victory right there from Joseph. Oh, 17,000 steps on Saturday. That's excellent. Hold on. See, this was not working correctly. Let me see if that's doing it. Yeah, it's making it where the text is not showing up. Ah, there it is. All right. So the name needs to be, I want it to be yellow. Yellow. Come on. Where's my eyedropper? There we go. And save. Did it work? Yes. There we go. Now we can read your name down below. I think I'd rather make your name like an orange color, but we're going to leave it for now. Oh, and my water bottle is over there in front of the chat monitor. 1 second. I got to go move that. I can't see. There we go. Now I can read the chat. I had it covered up. But yeah, so what we're doing right now is everybody put your wins in the chat. We will discuss them and see what we can do. Jennifer just ordered 8 Keys. This book. So good. Very much enjoyed this book. It's been very helpful. It's not something like you're going to blitz read and get it all. You're not going to do that. I still pick up things from the book when I go back through it. I figured, like, if I have a problem, I might as well absorb everything there is to absorb out of the book so I can apply it because it directly pertains to my challenges in life. Namely, my emotional eating. Let's see. Where do we put that? Oh, what do you think of this new shirt? Friction, not restriction, #GOCmerch.com. So, GOC merch. If you want to get a cool shirt. But good morning, everyone. Drop your wins in the chat. Drop your humble brags in the chat. And we will celebrate your victories here. I guess I'll check in with my deficit. I have not seen a new personal best in the last week. I traveled yesterday, 7 hours driving, and I had a bunch of high sodium food. Got on the scale today, 177. So it's jumped up 4 pounds. I know that's not body fat, but it's funny. Even though I know, my brain's still like, I'm like, it's fine, buddy. It's fine, man. Just keep going. Today's not the day you see the new best, but you weren't going to be done today anyway. But I am considering that maybe I need to track my calories a bit more. Or when I say track as in document, I think I need to. I was hoping to see a new personal low this last week, and I didn't see it. I mean, it's been a wonky couple of weeks. It's, and the downside is like when you're on the skinny side of weight loss, any little thing makes it where you just don't really notice weight loss that week. But so we'll see how today. I'm making easy, simple swaps to reduce calories, but I think I'm going to sit with it, right? I'm going to watch the scale the next couple of days. If the scale doesn't move where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and start diligently documenting what I'm going to do. I think that's going to be my strategy. I don't like diligently documenting everything. It gets old after a while. I do it when I need to, and sometimes I need to for months and months on end, right? Usually I find I can get by with just several weeks, kind of calibrate myself. But I think I need to calibrate where I watch my calories. Let's come over here to the chat. Let's see. What have we got here? Let's see. Hold on. What can I do for music? There we go. There we go. Crystal. Down another 2 pounds this week. Down a total of 67 pounds on this journey. 67 pounds. Hold on. I think you can get an air horn for that one. You ready? You ready? You ready? So stupid. But I love my air horn. That's awesome. We got any other wins? Any other wins? There we go. Oh no, we got one. Let's see. Let's bring up a different song for this one. Let's go with we'll bring up the funky. All right, let's see. Bylighter Fitness completed a 10K ruck Saturday in 2 hours, along with 18 F3 friends. Don't know what that means. And hit a new low weight. Woo! I like that. I like that. Tell me what 18 F3. I don't know what that means. But excellent. Excellent. So yeah, if you got a win, if you got a victory, drop it in the chat. Would love to celebrate with you. Give you credit. Toot your horn, so to speak. You know what I mean by the horn, right? The air horn. I'm going to toot your air horn. So dumb. I have some other sound effects. See, I have chimes. Welcome to Happy Hour with Chris. What else do we have? Oh, we have this. Oh, hold on. Oh, this is a fun one. Let's say I tell a funny joke like, what's red and smells like blue paint? Red paint. What? That wasn't funny? Anyway, I ought to load up more sound effects on it. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. And then I got all these like voice ones, I can do. Y'all have heard this one. Hello? Wait. Hello. Hello. Oh, because it's not on the right input. How do I do that? How do I make it work on the right input? Smart pans. Pitch up. Edit. Do I select which one it goes to? Ah, there we go.
2. Ha!
All right. So now.
My voice is the high voice, but
the monster voice probably isn't working. So let's set my monster voice. Hey, I'm learning how my little doodad thing works right now. I'm learning stuff with you in real time. So I come here, change it to input to.
Now I have a monster voice.
That's fun. Let's see, what's that do? Oh, so I can go, man, this thing is stupid. Anyway, I'm having a good old time here with my soundboard. We got any other victories? Throw them in the chat. Like hearing your victories. Like seeing how you successful. Oh wait, I see one. I see one. Let's bring up the right music for it. No, I don't want that one. No. There we go. There we go. Where's that win? I saw it. There it is. Luke Harmon. So excited to share. I'm only 2 pounds away from Wonderland. Congratulations. Woo! Wonderland is awesome. Be sure to come here and celebrate when you hit Wonderland, because I want to celebrate with you. I want to play some fun music. I want to play the audience cheering. I want to cheer with you. Wonderland is close. You know, it's funny. When I got right next to Wonderland, it took a damn month before it showed up. A damn month. Oh, so it was right there. Just knocking on the door. Wonderland. All right, let's see. Oh, by the way, do me a favor. Can you smash that like button? It totally helps with the YouTube algorithm. It's like one of those things that really wants that. So if you could, just find wherever it is on your screen. Just tap that like button. Helps with the YouTube algorithm. For realsies, it does. Samantha, I said I was going to the gym yesterday, and I didn't in the early times. So I went after going to a movie. What movie did you go see? I went and saw Jurassic Park this weekend. It was a fun monster movie. I mean, wow, we've really deviated from the original Jurassic Park movies, what these things were about. But it was a fun, stupid monster movie. I enjoyed it. Let's see. Half my clothes are big now. Guess I need to go shopping. I guess so. Yes, that is indeed a good problem to have. When all your clothes are too big, it's a great problem to have. It reminds me of a story on my journey. Let's see, we'll bring this back up so you know what we're talking about. I was at the office. I got up in the morning. Not a single pair of pants fit. And all my underwear was too big, and most of my shirts didn't fit. Like, I had down to virtually no clothes that properly fit me. And I remember going to the office, I'm like, I got to get a whole new wardrobe. And of course, the other haters were like, oh gosh, must be nice. And I'm like, look, I understand this is a great problem to have, but it's still a problem. This is like I don't remember if it was second or third time, sizing out of my entire wardrobe. I had to buy a whole new wardrobe like 3 times. That got expensive, yo. And I feel for you ladies because the bras. Yeah, my wife, she, after losing all her weight and getting in shape, she had augmentation, so she had to go get all new bras. And she warned me. She goes, just so you know, I'm going to have to get all new bras. I'm like, oh, okay. I knew they were expensive, but it didn't click in my brain that, wait a minute, there's a difference between I need to buy one new bra and I need to buy all new bras. Right? Like, yeah, I feel for you ladies, right? And it's expensive. But it is a fun problem to have. It is the best kind of problem to have. I liked having that problem. If I were to be solving problems on a weight loss journey, that is one I would like to be solving. The one that all my clothes are too big. Mermello asking about should you get the 8 keys in a book. I own it in an audiobook and I own it as a book. My book is highlighted and marked up. I take all sorts of notes in it. Like, I'm literally just flipping to random pages because I just want you to see how much I marked this up. Like, literally, just like that's literally just the next page. I'm not even trying to jump to marked up pages. Like, I study it the same way I study religious text. Like, why do you study religious text? Because you want to absorb everything in it so you can apply the principles into your life and help realign your thinking and your heart and soul and spirit into the same direction, right? Isn't that why you do it? Why not use that same technique here? That's how I figured. I figured I'd use the same technique. I did the same thing with this book. I'm like, let me just study it like I used to study the Bible, right? Like, I did it because I wanted to absorb everything inside of me and apply it. So let's try it. Anyway. Any other wins? Oh, there we go. Hold on. We got to win. David. At the 4th barbecue, I took smaller quantities and stopped eating when I was satisfied, long before I felt miserably full. That's a win. Joseph, I don't know if you meant this as a win, but it is a win. Got to buy new undies because we got too small. So... yes, bring up them wins, y'all. Let me see them in the chat. Tell me your wins. Crystal, bra shopping is the worst. Again, yeah, I don't know, but I feel for you because I talked to my wife about it. It's crazy. I have learned as a man over the years so much more about women's lives that I just didn't know. I was once a young man that was too arrogant and stuck up in himself and just figured if it's not happening to me, I don't need to know it too much. You know? And then I wised up and realized that was a lame way of looking at life. And I started learning about the things that women go through. And the last several years I've been doing it. Yeah, it's a good thing men, we're boneheads. Like, it's a good, if our body had the amount of maintenance y'all did, we would just fall apart. Like we're no good at this, it seems. I'm kidding. I'm sure men would do it, but no, in all seriousness, is like, I'm learning a lot about menopause right now. It's been sort of a deep dive topic for me because so many of my clients and people in the guild and my communities are in their mid 40s and above. So we're getting into perimenopause age. And I realized just a handful of years ago, I kept hearing about menopause. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's where you can't have babies anymore. Like, what's all the hubbub about? Right? Because I'd never lived with anybody going through menopause. I'd never known anybody like where we would have sort of an open dialogue about it. And it's not like it came up in my books. So it was like, I don't know anything about it. And then I heard on an interview about menopause, somebody, not about menopause, the topic of menopause came up. And the interviewer said, it's like second puberty for a woman. And I was like, that's an interesting phrase, second puberty. And then the person talked about how, his I think it was his mother that was going through it. And it really gave him a lot of compassion towards it as he started learning more. And that really stuck with me. I was like, I have stepkids that are going through puberty. I knew what to expect. I remember we'd sit down and talk with them and explain like what's happening to them. Like, hey, you have these new emotions that are waking up in you that you've never felt before. You're going to notice. You're going to notice new feelings. And sometimes they're going to feel really intense and you're not really going to know what to do with them because they're brand new. You're not crazy. This is normal, right? And let's talk about how we're going to handle it, right? And how we work through it together, as and that's just one example. And talking about the changes that are going to happen in their bodies, right? Like this is a normal thing we talk to our youth about. But it's just like we get to this menopause, and you women are just as bad about it as the men with that I'm about to say. But nobody wants to talk about it. Like, oh, we don't want to talk about it. Oh, and then you men, you get it like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Stop that bullshit. It's like, it's just lame. It's the same thing where I get like men, you get all weird when a woman talks about her period. Like, it's like getting weird about burping. Like, okay. Like, I don't know. Men get weird. Straight white men are the worst. I'm bisexual white man, so I could kind of poke at him a little bit in that regard. But, I heard menopause mentioned as a second puberty. And so that kind of sent me onto this thing of like learning about it, and I would have it come up within my clients. And I was just like, I've got to learn more about this. And a second puberty is a great way to describe menopause. I've seen it's a great phrase because it is another transition, just like puberty is for a youth. Right? Your body is going through something. Your mind and your hormones are going through things. And it's okay. Like, it's okay. It's not bad. I know it's a sign of getting older, but like, that's like getting mad the sun comes up every day. I mean, getting older is kind of the point. Like, it's mission accomplished. Good job. You've made it. Like, I want to get to 95 and look at somebody else my age and be like, you made it, because I'm sure when I get to 95, most people in my age right now are going to be dead. And so I'd like to get there. That's like my goal. That's my goal. I want to get to 95, see another 95-year-old and be like, hell yeah, we made it. We made it. Here. Let's see. What do we look like? Anyway, I don't know why I went down that journey, but I did. I'm talking about this. Let's see. Rebuying clothes, I find it a pest. It is. But it, comes with the territories. Yeah, this right here, when you're buying new clothes, I also started buying cheaper clothes. But you know what? I've kind of kept buying cheaper clothes. I'll occasionally let myself buy something nice now, but I got really kind of hooked on the cheaper clothes thing. I got kind of hooked on the cheaper thing in general. Can I give you all a tip? I'm going to give you all a tip I learned when I cleaned up my life. If you reduce your cost of living, it's the same as getting a raise. Did you know that? If you just reduce your cost of living, your standard of living, it's like getting a raise. And if you're like, I don't care about wearing the fanciest of fancy clothes, and you start buying cheaper clothes and you just start keeping them, that's like a raise. If you're like, I don't need the fanciest of fancy cars, I can get a used car with a bunch of mileage on it, whatever. It's like getting a raise. When you sell a bunch of shit so that you can go from living in a 4-bedroom house to a 3-bedroom house because you have less stuff, that's like you got a raise. I discovered that several years ago. It's pretty awesome. But I just discovered when I don't make my clothes the center of my universe, I don't have to spend all my money on clothes because clothing and fashion just never seems to end. It's like, it's just always trying to get you to buy more. Look, and there's nothing wrong if any of you care about clothes, right? If I spend money on electronics. So like we all have our things that we spend our money on, but it's more of like, don't do it on everything, right? Just do it on a handful of really important things. For me, it's camera gear and electronics. I just figured out how to turn it into a business, and now I never get to use it for fun, and I only use it for business. That was an unintended byproduct. I so rarely get to take photos for funsies. Anyway, hey Cherie, good to see you. Started counting calories, realized I stopped listening to hunger and started going off a number. Is it okay? I decided to take a break from counting calories to keep eating only when I'm hungry. Sure, that's what I'm doing. You know, if you stop progressing, you might need to revisit that. But I don't think it's fine. Thrift stores are indeed the best. Oh, what's that? Mermello resisted buying a binge item at the store. Resisted tempting holiday cookies at work. Resisting Saturday night calorie Chinese routines. Feels like big wins to me. That's because they are what? Resisting the old ways. That's what we call a victory. Excellent. That is indeed a victory. Indeed it is. So good job. All right, everybody. Let's move to the discussion portion. I have brought forth today 3 books. I don't know which book you want to dig into. I'm going to let you pick. And I have not picked a section in each book. What we're going to do is we're going to pick a book, and I'm just going to thumb through it, find a spot that looks interesting, and we're going to talk about it. So give me a 1 in the chat if you would like to dig into psycho-cybernetics. Give me a 2 in the chat if you would like to dig into 8 keys to end emotional eating. And give me a 3 in the chat if you would like to dig into this intuitive eating workbook by Evelyn Tribble and Elise Resch, kind of the founders of the intuitive eating, the official intuitive eating. Oh. Did you know they tried to, I don't remember if it was trademark that name they wanted to. They weren't able to do that. They could not own the phrase intuitive eating. So just to be clear, they don't own it. They tried. All right. 1 in the chat if you'd like to dig into psycho-cybernetics. 2 in the chat if you'd like to dig into 8 keys and emotional eating. 3 if you'd like to dig into the intuitive eating book. Tell me in the chat now, and we will dig into whichever one you all vote and pick on. So, and this is going to be a super scientific study where I just sort of look at the gut and go, this is what it looks like most of the room picked. All right, let's see. 3, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2. All right, I'm definitely seeing more 3s than 1 is not getting a lot of attention, so I'm going to put 1 down. So it's looking like 3. So we're looking intuitive eating or 8 keys. Let's give it another couple seconds. Here, let's play some music. We'll say till the end of this song, because I love this one. At the end of this song, I'm going to go with whatever I think. No, that's a long song. We're just going to go for a few more seconds. We've got a 3, 2 for 8 keys, and a 1 for psycho-cybernetics. 1 for psycho-cybernetics, 2 for 8 keys, 3 for intuitive eating. Just a little bit more. I'm giving everybody a chance to vote. Oh, wow, we're starting to get a lot more 2s. All right, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5 2s. Oh, no, there are 3 that definitely crushed it. All right. I think I'm good to call it. Today we'll be digging into Intuitive Eating by Evelyn Tribble and Elise Resch. I've really got to look up how to say her last name. I've never looked it up. At least not that I can recall. If I did, I completely have forgotten that I did. By the way, check out that new shirt. You don't need more restriction. You need more friction. Friction, not restriction. That's the way to get to what you want to do. All right, let's see. Where do we want to dive into? Ooh, wait, what was that one? We are going to dive into chapter 4, the food police. Or challenging the food police. Yeah, challenge the food police. That's what we're going to move into. Chapter 4, challenge the food police. The food police monitor the unreasonable rules that dieting has created. The police station is housed deep in your psyche, and its loudspeaker shouts negative barbs, hopeless phrases, and guilt-producing indictments. Chasing the food police away is a critical step in returning to intuitive eating. That's a good opening paragraph. That's a mighty good opening paragraph. And the author is totally right. Dieting gives you like this food police thing. I know I said we weren't going to dive into this book, but I'm allowed to cross-reference. This is my show. I can do whatever I want. So I'm going to cross-reference. Because this whole notion of food police with weight loss is really important. So many of us don't even realize, that we are stuck in this cycle of dieting. And dieting gives us all these rules that we have to do. So we're going to jump into, we're also going to pull little sections from chapter key 2, which is break the diet mentality. We're still going to cross-reference. We're mostly in this book. Let's see. In 1939, Chicago pediatrician Dr. Clara Davis presented a paper at a conference that summarized the results of a research program she had begun a decade earlier. Her goal was to learn how children who were just beginning to eat solid food would eat when they could choose foods freely. She set up a residential care program for single mothers and their newly weaned infants and recorded everything the children ate for up to 4.5 years. That's a big study. The children were offered a variety of over 30 different foods to choose from. The only rule was that they had to choose for themselves without adult guidance. How many of you adults could handle that? Without adult guidance or encouragement. The nurse's orders were to sit quietly by, spoon in hand, and make no motion. The children could have chosen to undereat or overeat or to eat an imbalanced diet by choosing foods naturally high in starch, fat, or sugar, for example. When the study was over, Dr. Davis found that the average daily calories consumed by the children over each 6-month period were always within the recommended nutritional limits for their age. The only exceptions were noteworthy. Children who were malnourished or suffering from vitamin deficiencies when they joined the study took in more calories than average for the first 6 months. Think about that. Continue here. There was a time when we were all experts in what we should eat, even though we knew nothing about nutrition. You see, many of us, what happens is we came out of the womb knowing how to eat just fine. Society went and messed you up. And what ends up happening, we get all these diet beliefs stuck inside of our head, which I don't really like. So I'm going to skip ahead to the next page here in the intuitive eating book. We have interjected the societal food police, the collective cultural voice, which becomes our inner food police. We know where to find it. It actually doesn't have a very clever hiding place. It's in the forefront of your mind. It may sometimes feel as if you're sitting on your shoulders like Jiminy Cricket, whose favorite phrase was, "Let your conscience be your guide." You may have spent your life cowering before the voices of a critical parent, teacher, or spouse, only to have those voices internalized and made into your own. Consequently, your mind becomes clouded with self-doubt and negative thinking. The solution is to examine your beliefs, their origin, and their impact on you, as those beliefs are the springboard for the thoughts of the food police. You will learn how these thoughts affect your healing and ultimately behavior. Let's talk about this. Propaganda works even when you know it's propaganda. Like watching the 24-hour news cycle on any major news network, doesn't matter if it's Fox News, CNN, OWN, Associated Press, whatever, doesn't matter what news station. 24-hour for-profit news is basically just selling your eyeballs with headlines. Like that's all they're doing, right? And they're just creating an audience. Like that's the game they're playing. It's propaganda, not for the government. Maybe sometimes it is. I don't know. But it's propaganda for the people that own the company. They're wanting to make profit off of your eyeballs. So what do? They give you things that will get you to come back and keep watching. You know who else does that? Food manufacturers. They give you things that will get you to come back and keep eating. Game manufacturers. They do things to get you to come back and keep gaming. So you are literally being influenced. Your beliefs are being altered so that you will alter your behavior. Society's doing it to you all the time. I mean, that's what politics is. They're trying to alter your belief systems to get you to act a certain way that's in their benefit. That's what companies do too. I do it. I'm literally trying to alter your beliefs to get you to work on your emotional eating so that you can become thin, healthy, happy, and shape. That is what I'm trying to do. I am trying to get you to change your mind and believe things. You know, one of the ways I do that? It's through something called the law of repetition. I repeat myself a lot across all my mediums, and I do it in lots of different ways. I intentionally say the same thing multiple different ways. I intentionally leave out information sometimes so that other information can shine. I intentionally will then change it up later. I'll intentionally say something in a very short way. I'll intentionally say something and take an hour to say it. Why? Repetition. That's what got me to change. Repetition of new ideas. I'm doing this because we're fighting fire with fire. Many of you, the reason why you're an emotional leader, the reason why you struggle with weight is you've had unhelpful ideas given to you, perhaps by your parents, perhaps by society, perhaps by your friends, perhaps by social media for some of you that are younger. And what happened? These other voices outside of you that you kept hearing again and again and again and again and again and again and again, eventually the voice that you used to hear echoed in your head that sounded like somebody else's voice just started to sound like your own voice. And for a while, you knew like, oh, I'm just saying what my dad said. I'm just saying what my mom said. I'm just saying what my health teacher said. To eventually it's just, oh, that's my voice repeating what they said. To eventually it's just my voice saying it in my head. To just, this is what I say in my head. To this is just what I believe. To this is true. That's what happens as the idea gets repeated again and again and again and again and again. So let me read this again. You may have spent your life cowering before the voices of a critical parent, teacher, or spouse, only to have those voices internalized and made your own. Consequently, your mind becomes clouded with self-doubt and negative thinking. The solution is to examine your beliefs or examine your thoughts. Examine what goes on inside your mind. Learn to become mindful. Learn to become present. Really evaluate all of your beliefs about food. Every single one of them. Let's, we'll do it right here. Examine the origins of your belief is the subheading here. Actually, let me go to the chat and see if anything I'm missing. Okay, if any thoughts, by the way, if any of this is like clicking, or you're like, ooh, that's interesting, communicate with me in the chat. It is helpful for me to know what kind of resonates with you. It'll help me you will influence where this conversation goes because I'm going to riff off you. So feel free to throw in the chat. But let's continue on. Beliefs are cultivated and influenced by many factors. For example, many people have a family history of living with a focus on weight and body size. A mother might comment on how her child looks and how the child's clothing fits. A parent may use the scale daily and talk about dieting. A grandparent may make admonitions. Why did that? My mouth really struggled with that word. A grandparent might make admonitions about how much food her grandchild is eating. There might be magazines in the home full of celebrity photographs that have been digitally altered to make their bodies look perfect. Remember, propaganda works even if you know it's propaganda, and it also works even if it's not propaganda, but it's acting as if it is. You see, when you're on social media all the time and it's constantly showing you these digitally altered bodies, that is the equivalent of propaganda compelling you to do something different. That's what that is. So, your thoughts are formulated from the set of beliefs you hold about how the world around you works. Thoughts are rules spoken by the food police are usually cognitive distortions, very strong statements that are based on false beliefs. If not challenged, these thoughts, negative thoughts, can affect many of your behaviors, especially your eating. Let's take an example. They give us some few thoughts. Let's look at, I should never eat carbs during the day, even if I crave them. That is an example of a flawed belief. It's not useful. It's a harmful belief to hold, but many people hold that belief. It would be okay to eat fruits and veggies for carbs. That's good, but it's bad to eat bread or pasta for carbs. See, that's a problematic belief. A carb is a carb. Whether it came from veggies or it came from bread, it's still carbs. Still carbs, right? You get carbs from a fruit, you get carbs from pasta, still carbs. But you see, the diet rules were like, no, because it comes from a pear and it's healthy. It came from a plant. That makes it good. And because it came from a different plant called wheat, that makes it bad. We've processed it. We've made it look white. That means it's not good. It's bad. It's bad. That's just diet bullcrap that got in your head at some point from somebody that conditioned you to think that way. That's actually not based on truth. What happens is so many of us, we get stuck believing these illusions and these fantasies about why we can't lose weight, about why we always gain weight. And they're fantasies, they're illusions, they're not real. But we believe them so deeply, so deeply. Oh, hold on. I gotta text my wife here. So deeply. And what ends up happening is the person becomes more interested in defending themselves being right to themselves rather than going, wait a minute, what's the truth? So many of us, we get more focused on just not being wrong than we do with finding out what the truth is. So many people watching this, I don't know if it's any of you here now, I don't know if it's anybody here on a replay, but so many people will go through, life thinking like the only way I can lose weight is I have to eat 1,000 calories. It's like, that's not true. Yes, you technically could, but that's not going to work, not long term. That's not true. So many people go through life thinking like, I can't eat carbs. I have bad genetics. If I have carbs, I won't gain weight. I won't lose weight and I'll always gain weight no matter what. It's like, that's not true. I have PCOS, Chris. You don't understand. I can't lose weight because of this. I have to do it all totally different. I have insulin resistance, don't you know? It's like, that's not true. It's not what you think it is. Oh, I'm going through menopause. I can't lose weight, Chris. That's not true. I have a busy job. There's nothing I can do about this. I don't have time to lose weight. That's not true. That's an illusion. That's false. But the challenge is, so many of us in our head, we're unwilling to question it. C.S. Lewis wrote about this, one of my favorite quotes. We'll often choose a familiar captivity rather than an unfamiliar freedom. Your beliefs are keeping you captive. Your beliefs keep you stuck in a rut. They keep you from moving beyond them because what the mind believes to be true is true as far as that mind is concerned. Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. If you believe you cannot lose weight, you will be right. Not because it's the truth, but because you will just make sure you're right. If you believe you can lose weight, you will be right. The beliefs make such a big difference. And especially when it comes to challenging what the book's talking about here of the food police. Look at your beliefs you have around food. Think of all the beliefs of these are the foods I shouldn't have and these are the foods I have to have. Question those beliefs. Where did you get those beliefs from? What evidence are they based in? Remember, truth can be found in multiple different places, stated in multiple different ways. And truth can withstand scrutiny. So if you find the moment you start saying something and it gets a little bit of scrutiny, it just starts falling apart, you're not aligned with truth. Or you don't know it well enough. So you probably shouldn't be defending it yet. You need to go learn more. I had to do this. Part of my success in losing my weight and keeping it off is I made learning about the body, learning about food, learning about movement and exercise. I made that a part of my life. Hold on. The dogs are at the vet. We have a big vet bill today, so we gotta coordinate moving the money to which account that we do it for. I'm very grateful to be able to take care of my pets. Okay, good. She got it. All right, cool. Anyway, so let's look at the chat, see what some of y'all were saying. Given the cartoony bad voices, I think we can agree that we can be our own bully. But do you think we can be our own original bully? In my life, I think I've preemptively insulted myself and assumed the worst about myself. No, I don't think that. I don't think you are your own original bully. I think you're taught and conditioned. You might be predisposed to it, right? I believe that. I believe there could be a predisposition to being a jerk. Some people, but no, I'm much more of a believer of nurture over nature. I do believe that there is things that people are naturally predisposed to doing. I do believe in nature. I just think nurture plays a much bigger role when I think of these two things. So if a person's a bully in their head, I usually look at it as they have picked up beliefs and were conditioned to be that way in their mind. But I don't think it's always like obvious. Like as an example, my religious upbringing caused me to be incredibly cruel to myself in my own mind. I don't think that was the intention, but that was the effect. That was the impact of that. And so yeah, I don't think a person would be, I think a baby comes out not a jerk to itself. I think they're taught. I do believe carbs are my enemy. Cindy, you're wrong. I'm just going to say it point blank. Like, that's not the truth. That's diet talk. That's exactly what this is talking about. That's the food police. You need to change that. And I know you did the LOL and maybe you're joking, but like, your subconscious doesn't know you're joking. Your body doesn't know you're joking. And so when you tell yourself carbs are the enemy, and then when you act in alignment with that, you're reinforcing that belief with yourself and you're actually propagating it. So let's actually use your thing. Let's jump here to another page. Approach your thoughts with curious awareness. So I want you to really approach this with curious awareness. Let's read this, and I want you to really be thinking about it. The second way to work with food police thoughts is a simple process of just observing your thoughts without allowing them to occupy your mind and without passing any judgment on them. Simply observe them. This is a form of mindfulness called curious awareness. Our minds habitually take hold of a thought and build a narrative story around it, which can create unnecessary suffering. So this is what I want you to do. Just if your brain thinks this, I want you to practice just letting the thought occur and then letting it flutter away. That's what I want to challenge you to do. Definitely a belief you have to fight for sure. I have PCOS, endometriosis, and they found arthritis in my knees before I was 30. Damn. But we got to play the card. We got to play the cards we're dealt, right? I mean, what choice do we have? The cards you got or the cards you got? Got to play it right. Yes, every day trying to tease out what food beliefs are not actually helping or accurate. Yeah, and I took the approach of just like throw them all out. Just throw all the rules out and rebuild from scratch. Just start over. Take the nuclear option with your internal beliefs around food. That's what I say. How are we on time? All right, we're doing good. Let's see where else we want to dig into in this chapter. Actually. Yeah, I like this better. All right. A problem that gets people in trouble always. Always. I always do. I will always do. I'm going to always do this. I'm going to be perfect, right? This is perfectionism. So let me read this. Reframe the following perfectionistic goal into intentions of for the most part. This is important. Write a more reasonable intention, something that will have a likelihood of being successful. So they give two examples. Perfectionist goal. I'm going to always eat intuitively. Okay. Number 2, for the most part intention. I will regularly stay mindful while eating and hope that for the most part, I'm intuitive eater. All right. For the record, I have a lot of beefs with how they do things in this book. That is a stupid sentence in my personal opinion. That is way too long and too complicated. So yeah, it's just like, it's not how humans talk to themselves. So whereas the perfectionistic goal, I think sounds like how humans talk. I'm always going to eat intuitively. What if it says like, hold on, let me look at this and think how a normal human would say it. I will regularly stay mindful while I'm eating more and hope that for the most part I will be in it. No, the other is a casual offhanded belief. This one is so the casual offhanded and on the better would be, for the most part I intuitively eat. For the most part I'm mindful. right? They could have just said that. I don't know why they made that all complicated. But you got to leave wiggle room in your speech. You got to, because what happens is, and I talked about it in the Friday episode of the podcast, so go check that out if you haven't yet. But you have to leave grace for a first time. If a person says, I always overeat when I go to Texas Roadhouse, it's like, no, you got to stop with the always, because what you're saying is you always and forever will. You left no wiggle room in your speech to be like, I have a tendency to lose control at Texas Roadhouse. I tend to overeat, right? You can say it that way because that's directing the focus on the past and leaving the future open. I tend to. It leaves just that little bit, but still accurate. But what happens is so many of us, we want to just give away our power and act like we're a helpless victim to circumstance. Like, if I go to McDonald's, I always lose control. No, you're not a helpless victim. You're not a victim to McDonald's. You might be a victim to your conditioning, but that can be fixed. That is totally fixable. So, yeah, don't hold back. How do I really feel? Well, I mean, I actually have some major beefs with the intuitive eating group. Because they take this approach of you shouldn't be trying to lose weight. Here's how I feel about that. Double bird. Because if I had listened to that, I wouldn't have lost all my weight. I said, I'm going to learn to intuitively eat while I'm losing weight so that when I'm done losing weight, I already know how to do it. I think a human is perfectly capable of doing multiple things at once. I think these people have a limited view of humans. I think that they can't do it. That's what I think. Otherwise, they wouldn't have wrote the way I think of it. They wouldn't have wrote the book this way. It's very clearly written as if the person is weak and can't handle both at the same time. I just reject that notion. I can accept that some people need to take dieting off the table for the moment, get this, and then bring it back. I can get that. But just as they say always and never, they speak in always and never about the weight loss stuff. So, like, again, I know we're in this book and I'm reading from it and I actually do like it. But the thing is, like, I have problems. Like, there's very few things I get where I universally like it all. And I used to be very black and white about that. Like, I have to love it all or I have to discard it all. And I've realized most things in life are a made up construct anyway. So why not just pick and choose what I want and cobble together what works and focus on that? Like, I think I'm going to do that. And so that's how I've approached the intuitive eating stuff. It's like, I'm going to take the parts that work and the parts I don't like, I'm just going to push them off the table and ignore them. But the reason why I get frustrated is because sometimes people will get on social media and they'll just use this as a hammer to beat people over the head because they want to lose weight. It's like almost like creating this like, no, you're doing it wrong because you want to lose weight. I'm like, what? No. If a person wants to just work on their health and intuitive eating, that's okay. But if a person simultaneously also wants to lose weight while doing that, that is also okay. But the premise of the book is you should not want to lose weight. Let's see if I even remember exactly where that part is. I don't read that part very often, so I don't remember exactly where it is in the book. There's a part where they just basically stray it. Now, this is the part where they go after dieting. They do hate dieting. I do like that. I like that. But I do not remember where the part is. I'll find it later. I probably won't. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to the chat here. Any other comments about it? This is only mildly spicy, Chris, today. Yeah, Chris gets spicy sometimes. I want to bring the full gambit because some people only hear things from the calm, gentle voice. So I want to bring that sometimes. Some people only hear things from an asshole. And so unfortunately, I have to talk like an asshole sometimes so I can reach those people. Some people only want to hear things incredibly logically. It has to be very logically spelled out. Some people need to hear things more from the feelings conversation where we talk about emotions. So I'll talk about it from that. Some people need to hear all of it. They need to hear everything from the spicy to the gentle to the emotional to the logical to the philosophical. They got to hear all the approaches. And we're trying to have paradigm shift here. So yeah, a little bit. Some of it is I just let my emotions, I'm like, how am I feeling today? But some of it also is it's a choice. Like I intentionally pick it. It's like, all right, we're bringing this vibe today. It's been a minute since we brought this vibe and we got to bring it around. Let's see. Yeah, you got to go hard a while and see what sticks for a while. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's it. Yeah. You just got to just go for it. The book we're reading from is Intuitive Eating, which, yeah, we're about done. I got to stop at the top of the hour. I got a busy morning. Oh, here we go. No, come on. There we go. I think we do need to start from scratch on food beliefs. I have so many diet rules and have to follow them perfectly to be successful at losing and keeping them off. Yes. I would just throw them all out and reevaluate from scratch. Start simple. And when I did that, which is what I did, I just kept it real simple at first. It seems reasonable to eat at designated meal times. It seems reasonable to not get to gorge myself at meal times anymore, just to stop that altogether. And it seems reasonable if it's not a mealtime to only eat if I'm hungry. Like these 3 food rules seemed reasonable to me at first. They seemed like logical. They seem like something a child might do. They seem like something that a naturally thin person does. So I'm like, so I'm going to just start there. I will probably need to add more rules. I figured I did. I'll probably need to learn more about food and which ones I could eat, which ones I shouldn't, which ones I should have at certain times or certain ways. I did learn that stuff. So my food knowledge and rules, so to speak, have gotten far more complex over the last 6 years, because this was 6 years ago that I did what we're talking about here, where I threw out all my beliefs and just started with a simple few. But what I did is I just basically took every belief and like, okay, does this belief serve me? Am I going to keep this one going? Do I need to question it? Do I need to research it? Do I need to double check it? Like I remember I had one belief of okay, I have this belief that you're not supposed to eat after like 7 or 8 p.m. Otherwise it turns to fat. That was a belief that I held 6 years ago. And so I went and looked into it, and I'll be damned if not just within like 30 minutes, I discovered that belief was just complete and total bullcrap. It was just not true. Now, I do need to add, I'm a good Googler. Some people are bad at Googling. Let me give an example of bad at Googling. Like, I have the belief that I should only eat, I should not eat after 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Let's say I have that belief. A bad Google question would be why should I not eat after 9 o'clock at night? That leads to confirmation bias. Also, why is it okay to eat after 9 o'clock at night? That also leads to confirmation bias. It would be fine if I did that, but I got to do both. Whereas I look at it as, what happens to food in your body when you're sleeping? What happens to food in your system after 8 o'clock? You see how there it's like, I'm not putting a outcome in the question. I'm just saying, this is where I want to crack open my understanding more. What is happening? Let me learn what's happening, and then let me keep learning what's happening, and then I will learn what is happening. And then I can make my decision on what I should or shouldn't do. When I started looking into it, I started realizing, oh, your body still digests when you sleep. In fact, food could sit in your guts for days. So like, what difference does it make? Like literally what I ate for breakfast this morning could still be in my intestines at dinner. Okay. And food only sits in your stomach for a handful of hours, and then gastric emptying kicks in and your body sends it from there into the rest of the digestion system. It's like, oh, okay, well, I don't see why this matters for sleeping. And then there's like, well, your body is not absorbing the food, somebody said, because like I always believe like, well, no, you're not moving, you're laying still. It's like, yeah, but if you're also exercising and using your body is going into recovery mode and repair mode because you're laying still. And now it's using all of that energy that's in the system to repair your body, because the body is still doing shit just because your brain is sleeping. Right. And it's like, oh, so there's really no problem with eating at night? No, there's no problem with eating at night from a weight loss perspective. Now, yes, some of you might be like, but Chris, my tummy gets upset if I eat after 9 o'clock at night. Well, you know that has nothing to do with weight loss. That's your tummy. Yeah, don't eat after 9 o'clock, right? I'm not saying you should eat after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm saying it's okay if you want to. If your tummy gets upset, then you don't want to. It's easy, right? Like, don't complicate it. I know nobody said that, but sometimes people do. Anyway, this is, question all your beliefs. Question everything you think you know about food rules. If you knew it before you started your weight loss journey, assume you're wrong, and you should validate and double check yourself. When I started my journey, I told myself, just always assume I'm wrong. Always assume it is not what I think it is. Always assume, like, do the opposite. I should weigh in all the time. We should weigh in very rarely. I should try to lose weight fast. Maybe I should try to lose weight slow. I should cut out a whole bunch of foods. Maybe I should cut out nothing. I should get rid of all carbs. I should leave carbs. What if you just took everything you believed before you started your weight loss journey and flipped it and said, let me just consider the opposite first? Or at a minimum, let me not blindly accept what I already believe. Y'all, the amount of times I was wrong humbled me a lot. I was wrong so much. There were so many beliefs and assumptions I had about weight loss, and I was just totally wrong. And I started seeing how I was the reason why I was failing at losing weight and keeping it off. It wasn't bad genetics. It wasn't luck of the draw. It wasn't carbs. It wasn't any of those things. What it was is nothing more than just my beliefs were messed up, and I believed all these limiting beliefs, and I acted as if they were true. And because I acted as if I couldn't lose weight and keep it off, I didn't do the little things that would have made a difference. I didn't do the little things that would have made a difference because I would have done them again and again and again and again and again over time. Question your beliefs, especially the ones that limit you and hold you back. And you'll crack open the future, and who knows where you're going to be able to go. It's going to be pretty awesome. But you got to have the courage and the audacity to prove yourself wrong with the truth. I love it when that happens because now I know what the truth is. And I'm more interested in being aligned with truth than being right. Even though sometimes I forget that. And I got to remind myself. Have a great week. Go crush your weight loss goals. I'll see you next week. We'll celebrate your wins, your victories.